What's up guys, and welcome back to another EVE Online and Just About video. This is a continuation of the video I did previously where Just About have offered a $100 bounty for the first person that can solve a long series of puzzles. They've been really challenging, really exciting, and a lot of fun to do. And we've of course solved it at last, so here is a video recap of all the bits that were left after the first video. So for the full context, for the full work through so far, check out the video I link in this top corner, and it will also be linked in the description and the end of the video for the for part 1. But we're going to pick up where we left off with part 2. So if I flick back to Just About in the browser and I turn off my blur, because that will be very annoying for all of you. There you go. This is where we had gotten to. The last puzzle we had solved was the race begins. We had put together all the QR codes and it had taken us to this clue here, right? Not the end, but the end of the beginning. Might not the answers of the hour lie in yesteryear. And we had this text and an answer box. And that's where we were stuck, and I'd asked for your support and I got quite a few good responses. Thanks guys. Unfortunately none of them actually led to being able to solve the clue, so there were no winners of the giveaway, but really do appreciate everyone having a go. So I mean, this took us a long time. We were completely stuck at this point, and eventually Just About had to intervene with a clue. So they actually intervened twice with a clue. Okay, so the first one was in here. They just added a small comment on the bottom here saying you're on the right track to take Just About to the stars. But you'll notice that the TRA in track, if I could zoom in a touch maybe it'd be clearer, the TRA in track is in bold. And now we immediately understood that to be a reference to the TRA written on the underside of the Revelation. But what that then meant wasn't immediately clear. So we were looking at the TRA, we were looking at this, and we couldn't really work out what the deal was. We then did eventually also think, okay, there's a 3-letter combination here. There's a 3-letter combination that I mentioned in my previous video, DAS here. Maybe that has something to do with it as well. And so we were using DAS and TRA and playing with that, and still couldn't find anything. So Just About did eventually have to simplify it a tiny bit and give us another clue. The clue is here, update from the 11th of September. I've replaced this image with a new version that makes one particular detail more prominent, which I will show you guys in a second. It was always there, but as far as we can see, no one spotted it. And we definitely didn't. I don't know if anyone else did, but we definitely didn't. Folks did notice the equivalent in the 2 later images, which are the TRA and the DAS I just mentioned. However, and deduced they combine to unlock the final clue. So specifically there is a cipher. And yeah, so this is what was added, and they did make the 3 letters easier to see. So if I go all the way up, what they're referring to is, because I spent a long time looking in this. So obviously there's the TRA in here, and we found the DAS in here. So we did assume there would be a 3-letter combination in here that we needed to find. And after their changes, you will notice now there is JAA in the middle of this E. So now it's relatively simple to find and allowed us to move on. But previously have been shown where the Just About, by one of the Just About guys, where the original JAA was. And I honestly don't even know if it's even going to show up in the video. Here in really faded text in the white of this halo, you can see there's JAA just about in there, and you know that is clearly the 3-letter combination, because it does all the rest of the letters run in strings and don't go across like this. But I just couldn't see it. I've probably spent a good 25-30 minutes total combing this image, looking for any 3-letter combination that I thought might stand out, and I just could not see this. So that's where it was originally, and then the team at Just About chucked it in here so it was slightly more obvious. So then there we had it. Okay, we had our three-letter combinations that would form a cipher. So let's open up this here and create a new sheet real quick. So we had JAA, DAS, TRA, and we also had the text. So just for in case you hadn't noticed, the title I think isn't particularly important. It's just a bit of scene setting. The might not the answers of the hour line yesteryear are referring to the images in the previous clues. That's what they're referring to there. So let's go back over here, paste this in, and basically now we know this is a cipher key, and we have to use it to decipher this. There was one additional clue given by the team at Just About as well. If we drop down all the way down to this comment from Rich, Alex of the team had just put this little image in as well. I thought that might be just a meme, but turns out it was actually a specific clue. And basically, the Vignere, I guess Vignere cipher is the based on the clue, and also just general bit of research, is the cipher that was used to decode this message. And basically, the way that cipher works is if you have this sentence written out in full, you just go like JAA, DAS, TRA multiple times until it matches the length of the clue, and then do a sort of a relatively simple transformation using letter substitutions as you go across. I'm not going to explain it in detail here. If you are interested, go and read the Wikipedia page. It covers it in detail, and we were able to decode how to do it. And the clue that we got from it is this Gallente ambassador is the real thing. That is what this sentence translated to. This Gallente ambassador is the real thing. So we still didn't quite have the answer. But so then a bit of Eve Law and a bit of Googling eventually led me to did I get rid of the page? Eventually led me to Quaife. So any of you Eve Online players will know Quaife. It's all about all throughout the game, but deep into this, deep like if anyone's interested in proper Eve lore, go and find this document, and like we see, we're on page 235 of this PDF, and we're not at the bottom. But you know, there's a reference in here saying the marketing gurus at the Quaife company have often joked that the drink was the best Gallente ambassador there ever was. So 5 letters in here, chuck Quaife in, and bam, it took us to the next puzzle. It was correct. That was auto-filled because I have also gone through this one. But so yes, so that was correct. Great news. We finally cracked it thanks to the clues from the Just About team. And then we were straight into what are now the private puzzles. So at this point we couldn't really communicate on the Just About platform anymore because this is when it gets competitive. So here we go, well done, but your trials don't end here. And we have another link, another URL to go to. I think it auto-linked through to this page, a Google Drive link, but I will just check just in case I missed something. Yeah, so auto-linked through to a Drive file, which is something we need to listen to. So just before we do that, just in case you might want to, I don't know if you need to turn your audio down or not. This comes through very loud to my ears, so actually maybe we'll turn it down a little bit here. But let's go. So some of you might be like, what on earth? But I'm sure most of you will recognize that that is Morse code. So of course immediately set about decoding the Morse code, just using sort of a basic translator. I was listening to it and just there are automatic converters as well where you can upload the files to them and it will convert the Morse code, but I wasn't confident in the output that it was providing, so I wanted to double check it with manual conversion. And so this is what I could hear from the Morse code, and this is what it output. So that sound links to this in Morse code, PLCFC 270114. And now again, this is referencing a bit of EVE Online history and lore. Some of you may recognize that this might represent a date, this six numerical string. Some of you may or just know your history, especially if you're part of big null block alliances. You might know your EVE Online history. But basically, if you were to Google the 27th of January 2014 and EVE Online together, the top link you will find is the Bloodbath of BTAC R5RB, gaming's most destructive battle ever. And just to finish off the decoding, this fight, this massive bloodbath, was between Pandemic Legion (PL) and CFC Coalition. So there you go, Pandemic Legion, CFC Coalition, 27th of January 2014 is what that link is. And so then the answer to the question, supported by the lose the hyphen thing that made us certain that we got it right, was the system name, BTAC R5RB. And we'll lose the hyphen and we'll go BTAC R5RB. And on we go to this next puzzle. Okay, and so for this puzzle, the first part relatively self-explanatory. Obviously we're presented with just a little further friend, and then this image here. From the quote marks and the punctuation, we probably deciphered that this is likely to be a sentence. So I just had a quick Google of like hand alphabet, and the first thing that comes up is basically what these symbols translate to as letters. So we decoded this, and we were left with this sentence here, which I will put into my sheet so that it all looks nice. Quick little bit of format painting. There we go. And so that puzzle here, where has it gone? Over here. This puzzle translates to a dangerous game of crowd control upon which empires rose and galaxies born. Not delighted with the grammar, but that is what it is. So I was stumped by this one for a little while actually. Was looking into the birth of galaxies route. Galaxies are born from massive gas clouds, or looking at whether there's a correlation between a way that galaxies are created versus empires rising, and trying to see if there's a play on words there. Couldn't find anything, and then was reminded myself that all of these have related to something about EVE Online. So I honestly I got a little bit lucky, and I was like, okay, let's explore the crowd control element of this phrase. So thinking, that it might be, we don't really call it crowd control in Eve, but in other games, crowd control is like being able to stop a bunch of people being able to do their main abilities and things. So in Eve, crowd control would be maybe an interdiction bubble or mass damps or tracking disruption or something, right? That would be crowd control. So I was like, I'll just type in crowd control Eve Online, chuck that into Google, and discovered from a little bit of a search that CCP Games literally stands for Crowd Control Production, which I had no idea. I thought CCP was just CCP. I've never looked at finding out what it stood for. And yeah, CCP Games is short for Crowd Control Productions. So we had an in. We definitely knew it was Eve related. A dangerous game of crowd control upon which empires rose and galaxies born. So, crowd control, a CCP game. So Eve Online, Eve Echoes, maybe Dust 514. Which of those is most likely to represent empires rose and galaxies born? And also, you'll notice in the letter thing here, I was a bit thrown by this dash here. I thought it might have just been a visualization bug initially, because I did check, and that you highlight that's one, and you can do the same with this one. There's one, so I was like, okay, there's probably two letters, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Eve Online with a space would fit. Eve Echoes with a space would fit. Neither of them are working. So I was just having another look at the thing, and was trying to explore what other games CCP has developed. So I was going through this stuff, going through their stuff on here, nothing. But in their Wikipedia page, really interesting. Like, you just on this article here, for some reason Google has highlighted it. To finance the initial development of EVE Online, CCP Games developed and published a board game. That caught my eye. In we go. Go down to history, because I don't think it comes up in here. Yeah, it doesn't come up in here at all, so it's crazy. But you go into history, and to finance the initial development of EVE Online, CCP Games developed and published a board game called, and I'm not going to try and pronounce that. But first thing, there's a double letter, which explains that. And second of all, it translates literally to danger game. So, where are we? Over here. A dangerous game of crowd control, so CCP danger game, which then allowed EVE Online to be built, right? So upon which empires rose and galaxies born. So EVE Online exists because they produced this board game to finance the initial development of EVE Online. So this word, I'll give it a go. Hertspil, no, don't know, was the answer. So let me, do I still have, no, I won't have it there. So let's grab this, put it in, and we are through to this one, which, congratulations, you've discovered the final challenge of the first chapter. So I guess two things to take away from here. Final challenge. Yes, we are nearly there. This is literally the last page. Once I complete these steps here, I'm supposed to make a submission on Just About, make a submission over there, and we will be done. Like step 4, boast. So maybe if I get this, I'll be the first to do it and get the $100. But second one, and we knew this because of stage 1, but this is just a reminder. This is just the first chapter. So we get this done, have a break maybe, get the $100, and then hopefully we go again with the next set of puzzles, which I, of course, if I get the opportunity to go through and solve them all, I will, of course, record another one of these videos and share that with all of you. So let's go ahead and solve this one. Okay, and this one actually really quite nice and simple. I can't remember when I was last recording, but I think it took me less than 5 minutes, which I'm very pleased about. And now I'm going to go and find the solution. So step one is find me, and then this. Okay, so a couple of things here. Find me suggests there's either a person or a thing in a location, and then this string of numbers and letters here. You can see in between are the little symbols, which indicate that this is a coordinate. Right? This is a lat long. In degrees, so you've got degrees, minutes, and seconds, and degrees, minutes, and seconds. So we know that these letters need to equal, turn into some numbers, but similarly, the easier point here is to see the numbers on the end. If you know how coordinates work, there are only 4 possibilities, right? It's either this will always be north or south, and this will always be east or west. So we know 23 is just W. It's the 23rd letter of the alphabet, and N, so north, is the 14th letter of the alphabet. So that's just a simple transform to do north and west, which suggests it's a simple transform the other way. So 3rd letter of the alphabet, 8th letter of the alphabet, and so on. That gives us these coordinates: 38 degrees, 20 minutes, 35.1 seconds north, 109 degrees, 39 minutes, 58.3 degrees west. And if we tap that into Google, in we go, and we might think, hang on, there's nothing here, that's no good. What is this? No, nothing marked. Where am I? Okay, I'm in the US. If it loads the map, I'm in Utah. Do I know what this is? So instead, chuck it into Google proper, and what comes up is the Utah monolith, which, if you didn't see it come up in the news, was just like some bizarre metal block that just came up. That was just, oh, is there no image there? Well, maybe we get images. Utah monolith. It was just this thing, an art sculpture basically that just appeared in the middle of the desert. But so, part 1 is the Utah monolith. We found it. Now be the first to find me in New Eden. If you just look for the monolith in EVE Online, there is a structure called the monolith down in Dead End, which is a system very close to the EVE gate. So I believe that's the answer. So I'm heading down there now to go and do the last couple of bits of this. So I'm going to head down there, take a screenshot of myself, and make the submission, and hopefully boast about it. And if I am correct, there will be one more very quick section telling you that it was right, and if I'm not correct, there might be a longer section of me trying to solve the puzzle still. And we have received confirmation that we were correct, and we were the first to do it. Completed the last steps by flying down to the monolith in Dead End, getting a screenshot of ourselves down there. Went down with my courtmate Cal Ichthor, who's also been helping me solve these puzzles. Yeah, we got the screenshot, submitted it on the platform, and we've received confirmation that we have won, which is awesome. And now I can boast. Step 4. It appears to be mandatory, otherwise they might not give me the prize, I suppose. So yeah, so that's it, guys. That is all of stage 1 of the $500 bounty. There will be more stages. Stage 2 will be coming out sometime soon. So if you have enjoyed this process and enjoyed watching me break it down, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and we will if I can do the puzzles, if I'm good enough, then I will be doing the same video for stage 2. Also, make sure you get yourself over to the Just About platform. Try and apply for the alpha, join the community, and come and engage over here. It's a great place to be at the moment, and if you can get across there before stage 2 starts, you can have a go at these puzzles yourself and go for the prize. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. I've really enjoyed these puzzles. I really appreciate the Just About crew putting this stuff together. I've enjoyed sharing it with you as well. If you've enjoyed watching it, please consider liking the video. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.